Welcome back on the AM show with me, Sweetie Abochi. Fantastic work by Benjamin Akapo so far. And it's time now for us to talk about the National Commission on Civic Education and their activities. I'm joined in the studio by Madam Kathleen Addy. And I must say, Madam Kathleen, that you have great press. I was doing some research on the NCCE and I saw that you have very great press. Was it intentional?
I do my best.
Yeah.
I do my best. Thank you.
Okay. And we are in election year, of course. The NCC has been doing a number of activities, awareness trainings and all that. What's the latest on your table leading up to the election 2024?
Thank you very much. Like you said, election 24 is a big deal for our commission, which is an independent governance institution. One of the key things that we are constantly reminded of, is our mandate, which is to ensure that Ghanaians know and accept the Constitution and commit to defend the Constitution. And secondly, for Ghanaians to continue to support democracy as the form of government that we as a people have decided to live by.
Right.
And as part of that mandate, we undertake election education every election year. And this year is no different. We have a really wide range of programs that we will be looking at. We are looking at issues to do with the current things that have emerged the negatives in our political culture.
Right.
Money in politics, fake news and disinformation, intentional disinformation and misinformation with the potential to really incite people to create problems. We are looking at issues around religious tolerance, which has never been an issue for us for elections in the past, but because of the current circumstances, it's an issue. We want people to understand that when politicians come to you and say, vote for me because I have the same religion as you, or don't vote for me because I don't have the same, don't vote for this person because their religion is not really. You must know that the person does not have your interest at heart. We are asking people to ignore those who come and request votes on the basis of ethnic affiliation, on the basis of religion, on the basis of I'm giving you more money than this person. All these things do not augur well for the democracy in the long run.
Yeah.
It may serve some kind of interest today, but in the long run, it does not augur well for us as a people. And so those are the things that we are talking about this year. We are focusing heavily on young people. We have programs for young people in school, young people out of school. Okay. And as you know, our institution is heavily decentralized. We are in every region. We have a regional office, and we are in every district where the real education happens.
Yeah.
It's not a headquarters or Accra-based institution. And outside of Accra, really, we don't even speak English. We do the education in the local language for people to understand.
Grassroots connection.
Yes, this is a grassroots organization. Yeah. So really, truly, this is going to be a very, very busy year for us. And we are rolling out all of these activities, some in school for young, some out of school, in communities, associations, professional bodies, places of worship, lorry parks, markets. Those are the places that you find us on a daily. You find the staff of NCC on a daily basis doing the work that they need to do.
Right. On the issue of engagement with grassroots, I think that's where the compact initiative comes in. But let me bring in Professor John Asafo-Ajayi, who is a senior fellow at ASSET, that is the African Center for Economic Transformation, and he's joining us via phone. Good morning, Doctor and Professor, and welcome to the conversation. Doc, if you can hear me, it's a pleasure to have you join us for this conversation.
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. All right, so I would just welcome you to join the conversation while we kickstart on the Ghana Compact initiative, which is for political and economic transformation. So exactly what is Compact? Is it the same as the European version? We have the Comprehensive Plan for Administrative Capacity Building. Is that the same thing? So what is the Ghana Compact? Prof, do you want to take that up for us?
So the Ghana Compact is a new initiative brought about by ASSET and its partner organizations, including the NCCE and 7 other policy think tanks in Ghana. And it's to seek a consensus and a vision for Ghana for the next 25 years. So that's what it seeks to achieve.
Did you say 7 other think tanks? Which one? I'm sure Imani Africa is in there.
Yeah, so let me mention a few of them.
Yeah.
So we have Imani Africa, we have CDD Ghana, Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research, ISET, which is based at the University of Ghana. We have the Institute of Physical Studies, which is based here in Accra. We have Afro-Barometer. We have the Network of Women's Rights, NetRights. And so those are just a few of the people that we're working with. And it's really to shape a vision for Ghana for the next 25 years. So,
the next what? 25 years. Okay.
Yeah. So, January 1st, 2025 marks the next quarter of a century, right? We've already completed a quarter of a century, and we're going to start a new quarter of a century on 1st January 2025. So the concept is a vision for Ghana to achieve our potential. If you look back at the past 67 years, I think you would agree with me that Ghana has not reached its potential. There has been some growth in the past, but this growth has not been inclusive and it has not been sustainable. The reason being that the growth has been driven by a reliance on the export of primary and processed commodities like cocoa, gold, and it has not created the jobs that we want. So unemployment is very high, especially among the youth. It's even higher for women. The youth represent more than 50% of the population, so they are really the future of the country, and they cannot find any good job. We've made some progress in the last 30 years in terms of the political dispensation. We've had a stable democracy. So you would agree with me, and in fact, the latest research by Afro-Barometer shows that the majority of Ghanaians, 87%, think that the country is on the wrong path. Since independence, we've been to the IMF 17 times, which means there's something wrong with the way we manage our fiscal affairs. And so there's a need for Ghanaians to come together. And then I want to say Ghanaians, all stakeholders, so political parties, ordinary citizens. We want to bring everyone together, including the leaders of the parties, to agree on the way forward for Ghana. So that's really what the compact is about.
Right. So the African Center for Economic Transformation, together with these 7 other think tanks, are collaborating with you, the NCCE, for a series of engagements with constituents. What's the vision or the intention behind these engagements?
Thank you.
Right. So the thing
Prof, please hold for me for a second. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So as Prof has rightfully indicated, these institutions have come together to try and craft a vision for the country for the next 25 years. This is a very noble and progressive and highly proactive, program that they have undertaken,
right,
which we as NCC are collaborating with them because we share the vision of the compact in terms of what are the values that as a country we want to which values we want to become part of us. How do we want to live our lives? How do we want our democracy to look like? How do we want citizens' engagement to look like? So as part of that, we are working with ACET and the compact to bring the vision of the compact to Ghanaians everywhere they may be.
Okay.
So we are doing a series of engagements and getting also to get people's opinions and points of view on board, because as you know, the compact looks at various things, looks at political, socio-economic elements of our existence, and we want people to help us deepen the vision, craft the vision of what all of these things should look like in the next 25 years.
Right.
Because as a country, when you have a country, all the different people, all the different subsects, everybody has the role to play in a country, in a democracy. So as citizens, what is our role? And part of our role is ensuring that our voice is added to things like this to ensure that it reflects our true vision as a people. So we will go to all of these places and we'll engage people, different categories of people. We have students, we have people who work in the markets, we have trade associations, professional groups. We'll be engaging traditional authority, religious groups and all of that, simply because we want to make sure that the vision that we come up with in the compact is something that reflects, it's a true reflection of the desires of Ghanaians.
Okay, so you're looking for the opinions, recommendations,
Yes.
views of Ghanaians during these engagements,
Yes.
and on issues that are addressed in these technical papers, produced by Compact and its
Yes.
associated think tanks. What exactly are these issues? I mean, you've talked about economic, socio-economic, political, but what specific issues would you be engaging them on?
It's not very specific.
Okay.
It's about what would you like to see.
Okay.
So when you take
In
the
governance?
In everything.
Right.
So when you take the politics, right, what would you like to see? What kind of political culture do you think we should, where should we be aspiring to as far as the evolving political culture is concerned? How do we want to practice our politics? What kind of economy do we want to have? Prof has mentioned that to date we have an economy that is based on primary products, exports of raw agricultural products and,
right.
and other resources. Is that the economy that we want to have in the next 25 years? Do we have an economy that is based on production and not just exports? But we want everybody's vision everybody's opinion to be reflected in the vision. So as we go around with these engagements, so that's the primary objective. We want to get everybody's opinion too. But secondly, we want people to start thinking about Ghana beyond just, the problems that we face on a daily basis. Because as citizens, our role in ensuring that our country grows, that our country thrives, that our country makes progress in the direction that we want, a lot of that depends on us. We have to do what needs to be done from the citizens' perspective to ensure that we are able to even hold leadership accountable properly if we have done our part. So part of this whole thing is to ensure that people begin to reflect on their citizenship as Ghanaians. What does it mean for me to be a citizen? And we are hoping that in doing this engagement, we will trigger that as well, that people will begin to reflect on what their citizenship means for all of us as Ghanaians. Okay. What does it mean to be a citizen of Ghana? What does it mean to be a member of my district, my community? What am I doing to ensure that I'm holding leaders accountable in my community, in my local government, in my country? How am I doing all of these things? So we hope that will trigger a renewed interest in governance, in the way our economy is developing, in the social sector, in everything. So those are the things that we'll be doing with the public engagement.
Okay.
But primarily, we will be taking on the opinions and adding it to every opinion that we've collected already to ensure that people's views are adequately reflected in the final document.
Before I go back to Doc, the aspect of education and engagement falls within your mandate as NCCE.
Absolutely.
But how different is this planning and policy, coordination from what the NDPC is supposed to be doing? How different are the roles?
Okay, I think Prof will answer that.
Okay,
yes.
Prof, if you're still with us, how different is this from the role of the NDPC?
Yes, so I forgot to mention that NDPC is also one of our partners. Okay. And we've already worked with them in terms of how we can strengthen them as an organization and how they can become more effective in helping solve the problems that we've identified in the compact. So they are one of our partners. Now, some of the work that we're doing with NDPC to make them more effective involves constitutional reform. So part of the compact is also looking at what constitutional reforms can be undertaken to help Ghana achieve the vision that we want to achieve in the next 25 years. So we are very much complementary to them, and we are working with them. So it's not a duplication of their work. Because, what we've done with the 7 policy institutes is to do technical analysis on the issues of education, skills, employment, issues of planning, issues of fiscal responsibility. We've even considered climate change, as well as gender equality and private sector development. And so that's all part of the vision that we have for the country. And as Kati said, what we are doing now is to get the citizens' voice, capture the citizens' voices and concerns about this vision.
Right. So before the actual engagements begin, you're going to be training some regional directors
of the NCCE, which we have done already.
You've done that
yes,
already.
The rollout has started already. So
Okay.
We are training them to understand the objectives of the compact and to understand what we're actually supposed to do. You know, NCCE is a heavily decentralized organization. It's not Accra-based. It's very grassroots-based. We have offices in every region. We have offices in every district. And in the district, our staff we get people who speak the language of the district, as I mentioned before. So what we are doing is that we are working with with ASET and the compact to mobilize all of these groups, you know, so that when we get to a community and we engage in, the people we are engaging are a reflection of the people who live in that community. Okay. And that's why I mentioned that we will be engaging all these categories of people to ensure that we are actually able to capture the points of view of Ghanaians across board, you know, wherever we find them. So that is what we are planning to do. And it's actually very important that NCCE is part of this because of our reach and our spread and the nationwide coverage that we are able to offer. We are a natural partner for the compact and ASET. But beyond that, the vision of the compact aligns with the vision of NCCE as well. As far as where, to the point that we are trying to promote certain values for our society, not just for today, but ensure that society continues to grow and thrive well into the future. There are values that we need to continue to promote, and the compact and what it's trying to achieve is aligned to those values. So it's not just about us just mobilizing, but it gives us an opportunity to also remind citizens about the values that as a country we have come to accept as values that we want to promote, values that should be central to our existence as Ghanaians. Right. So it's all well aligned with the compact.
So in essence, your role is within reaching out to the citizens because of your mandate as National Commission on Civic Education. But Prof, let me ask, how do you intend to get the political class to, you know, climb aboard and join to promote this agenda for the compact initiative?
Right. So we've already started engaging the political parties. So we have had a series of sessions with the NDC Manifesto Committee, basically sharing with them the findings from all these technical studies. And we're going to have the same with the MPP. So, you know, as you know, the MPP recently elected their flag bearer, and they've just organized the manifesto team, or they're organizing the team. And so they're coming with, we hope to meet with them as well. And what we're planning to do after these initial meetings with the manifesto team is we're also planning to have inter-party dialogue with the major parties as well as the minor parties, again, to share with them the ideas of the compact. And it is our hope that they will incorporate some of these ideas in their manifestos. And then when this is all over, I don't know whether Kadi has mentioned this, but after the citizens' engagement are over, we're going to have a citizens' convention here in Accra around 18th, 19th June, where we'll bring all the stakeholders together. So we're talking about the political parties, the citizens, the labor unions, young people, religious leaders, the chiefs, cross-sectional people together, again, to agree on what we're calling a social contract between the people and the government. And the intention is that, regardless of who takes power in 1st January 2025, they would have committed to do the things that the citizens say want done. So that's the overall goal of these activities.
Okay, so based on the conversation that you've had with them so far, would you say you're making steady progress, or how is it going?
Yeah, very good. So, as I said, the NDC basically agreed with most of the things that we put forward. And in fact, they actually requested a further meeting to share some more ideas, to share with more ideas. So it's been very positive so far.
Right. What's next then for the compact agenda, Prof? I'm still with you.
Yes. So the next is what Cassie has mentioned, which is the citizen engagement. And then after that, we're going to have the citizens convention on June 18th 19th. And then after the Citizens Convention, the plan is to present what we call the social contract or the Ghana Compact to the flag bearers on June 27th at an event hosted by Otufo as well as the chiefs in Kumasi. And the intention is that we want to get the flag bearers to be on board and then for them to basically endorse the social contract.
Right. But Madam Kadi, let me come back to you. As the facility, the organization facilitating this compact, how are you going to evaluate the progress you've made so far? Or when would you know if you've achieved your targets?
Well, I mean, it's not the citizen engagement is not the end, as Prof has said, it's not the end of the compact process. Beyond that, we have other activities for this year. But outside of all of that, we need to, in 2025, we need to be sure that what we set out to do, which is to have this compact that everybody buys into in terms of defining a vision for Ghana for the next 25 years, is a true reflection of the will of the people. And so that's, broadly speaking, that will be how we know that, we have achieved our objectives.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sure you want the citizens to come out and support this agenda so you can gain your targets. So what will be your message to those watching you right now?
Oh, well, I mean, today we are having this engagement. Thankfully, this is a platform that reaches out to millions of Ghanaians. Hopefully today we've built some awareness around the Ghana Compact, so that if you are part of an association or a group and they ask for representatives to come and engage with others to talk about the compact, talk about the vision of Ghana for the future, you will know exactly what we're talking about, and you will feel compelled to come and be part of the process and part of it. Beyond that, I mean, I can't be on a platform and not talk about NCCE and our message for this election.
I was going to ask that. You've been it looks like you've taken a little of a hiatus, silent.
How will you say that? Even on Joy FM, I come here often.
Okay.
I'm on radio stations all the time.
All right.
Our staff are out there in the field. That's not fair.
Okay.
Yes. Because, I always say that the NCCE staff are some of the most hardworking staff in the public sector. They work under really difficult circumstances, but they are able to do a lot in spite of all of that. So they've been working. We've been working. The message really is that this election, let's change things. Let's change things around a bit. When people come to you and ask you to vote for them on the basis of common religion, or come and say that this person is not our religion or this person is our religion, so let's vote in that direction. When people come to you and say that vote on the basis of ethnic affiliation, when people come and say that vote because we're giving you more things and more money than the other person, you should know that these people don't have your interest at heart. People should come and tell us what it is that they can do for us. To come and prove that they have the capability, that they have the capacity, that they have maybe even track record to show that we are able to deliver this and that for you.
But are you engaging the political parties directly?
We always engage political parties.
Are you in the process of doing those
We engage political parties all the time. And we even, both in public and in private, some on screen, some off screen, but we definitely engage the political parties. But they have a role to play. But I feel like sometimes we feel as citizens that we don't have agency, that we don't have the power to change things. That's not true. And that is one of the key things that's missing from the governance and the political culture. Citizens feeling that it's really not about us at all. It's always about politics. It's not true. It is not true. Politicians are rational. They will deliver the behavior and the attitude that we continue to reward. If we change the criteria for the people we elect, we will get different outcomes. But if you want to elect people based on, for instance, money that they've brought to you, once the election is done, how are you expecting other things?
How long will that money even last?
It's not for you. You must understand that the money came from somewhere. It has to go back to where it came from. That alone may compromise your economic development. Secondly, you have to understand that it is a threat to our existence as a country, because there's a lot of bad money in the world. There's money from drugs. There's money from terrorism. If somebody goes to bring that money and uses that to win an election, basically our country is sold. So we have to think about this money thing more carefully, understand the broader implications of this high monetization of the political culture. It's very, very dangerous. Hopefully we get to a point where we are able to see these things and make these assessments and hold our political leaders to account properly. Not to say that we are waiting for you to give us money so that we will vote for you. It's not healthy.
Right.
It's not healthy for them. It's not healthy for us. It's not healthy for our potential as a country. We will not achieve it if we keep going in that direction.
I guess we are, in a way relying on you to empower us with the right education and
it's
the
a
tools.
shared responsibility.
Yeah, but
you're relying on us.
That's
we certainly
yes.
do, but without a platform like yours, for instance. Right. I mean, if I have to pay some rates to come and sit here in the morning, we can't afford it.
Right.
So a partnership, we do partnerships with a whole range of institutions, including ACET. What ACET is doing, I told you, is aligned. What the compact represents is aligned to our own vision as a commission.
Okay.
It should be aligned to your corporate social responsibility as a media house. You should be able to say, come for half an hour free airtime once a week.
Do you have enough resources to embark on all the initiatives that you need to do for this year's election?
We will always do our best with whatever we have. We don't have enough. Let me put that on the record, but we will do our best with what we have. And also we will rely on our partners, like I was saying, hopefully to come on board and augment some of these things for us.
Right, thank you. Prof, if you're still with me, any final words before we wrap this up?
Yes. So what I would like to say to your viewers is that in addition to the citizen engagement, we will be engaging them on social media, in the print media, as well as on radio and TV in the coming months. So we would like them to look out for these activities, and we would like them to join in, and we would like to hear their voice. Thank you.
Thank you. Professor John Asafo Ajayi is the Senior Fellow at ACET, African Center for Economic Transformation, and he's tasked with leading research work under the Economic Management and Governance Program. And Madam Kathleen Addy, who is no stranger, is the chairperson of the National Commission for Civic Education and former deputy chair in charge of finance and administration of the commission. It's been a pleasure chatting with you.
Real pleasure. Nice to meet you.
Pleasure.
Have a lovely day.
You too.
Thank you so much.
All right. So that's not all. There's more coming up. We've got a conversation on... we'll be right back, please.